on May 5th, 1868, 3 years after the Civil War ended, the head of this organization of Union veterans called the Grand Army of the Republic, they actually established this holiday called Decoration Day. And this was a time for the nation to decorate the graves of those that lost their lives in war with flowers. And a man named Major General John A. Logan, he's the one that said, you know what, it should be May 30th because flowers are going to be in bloom all across the country. And the first large observance of this holiday, of Decoration Day, was held that year in 1868. And it was in Arlington National Cemetery. And there were speeches given that day, and it was a whole event. And after the speeches, children from the Soldiers and Sailors Orphan Home, they came forward, and members of that same organization, the Grand Army of the Republic, they made their way through the entire cemetery, and they placed flowers on both Union and Confederate graves. And the whole time they were reciting prayers, and they were singing hymns. Tomorrow is a twofold holiday for us. Tomorrow we have the opportunity to mourn. We get to mourn for those that have lost their lives in conflict. Those that paid a very solemn price for our freedoms and the freedoms of those abroad too. But tomorrow we also get to celebrate the lives of those same men and women. We get to celebrate their lives. We get to celebrate freedom. With great blessings come great sacrifice. And I want to read you something. I want to read you something called the Oath of Enlistment. And this has actually been changed a lot over the last, couple hundred years or so, or since then. Actually, it goes back to the 1700s. But some of you know this oath. Some of you have taken this oath. But the Oath of Enlistment is something that every service member must promise and adhere to for their entire military career. And it goes like this. Most of the time they're yelling this. But it says, I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. I would say the most important part of that oath are those last 4 words. So help me God. And I pray that those men and those women who paid that ultimate price for this oath, I pray that they took those words to heart. And I pray that they knew Jesus and that they knew him well. So tomorrow, I encourage you at some point tomorrow, when you're barbecuing and you're enjoying time with your family, I encourage you to just take a few moments, just take a little bit of time throughout the day to thank God for those that have served and lost their lives. And thank God for those that have served and kept their lives.